Lifestyle Show. I'm your hostess, India Thibodeau, and today my guest is Tony Wolf. He's written a book. It's entitled Learning to Use Your I Over Your E Regarding Relationships. Welcome, Tony.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, it's good to have you. I enjoyed reading this book. This is an excellent book. So tell me, how did you come up with this title, I over E?
Well, for all the women in the world, I have a lot of female friends who were going through troubles in their relationship like most people do. And they would make decisions after I would talk with them that I felt were contrary to what they was talking to me about. So something has hit me about learning to use your intellect, your spiritual man, over your E, which is your flesh and your emotional side. And so that's where the book came from.
All right, and I love that title because a lot of times, and I was thinking, a lot of women are emotional. We're emotional creatures. That's what they say. So we base our decisions off of how it feels. If it feels good, then, and it makes us happy, then we're going to make a decision based off of that. And a lot of times we don't think about the process, the intellectual process. So it's more emotional for us. So how do we turn off the emotional part, which is really our character, and that's how we were created, to be more intellectual?
Well, I derive from, like, a lot of women that read the book didn't know it was biblically based, scripturally. And so my favorite verse out of the whole Bible is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6.
Okay.
Trust in the Lord thy God with all thy heart. Lean not unto your own understanding. Acknowledge him in all your ways, and he shall direct your path. And the reason that's my favorite verse because God always wanted the best for his creation. And so if you moving in your own fleshly manner, you're always going to make those choices that are based on your emotions. But if you deal with the Father and seek him, he's going to move you in a spiritual place where the best decision you're going to make is for your best outcome with your relationships.
Right, and then you'll make better choices.
Yes.
Okay. So when we have a decision to make, would it be a good idea then to not, if it's something that we can put off, then maybe, pray first?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I always tell, women that God created y'all with a gift that men don't have.
Okay,
That's
what's
intuition. That's y'all spiritual eye. Girl, something ain't going on right here. Girl, I know that's your intuition. That's your spiritual side. Y'all so emotional that y'all block it out sometimes. What's really going on.
So don't block out that. Listen, because that really is that voice that's speaking to you about what you need to do. So in communication, you have one of the first parts in your book is just a big topic that men and women need to talk about, and that's communication.
Yeah.
So how do we use our I instead of our E in communication?
Well, both parties are going to have their opinion as to how they feel certain things are. So when you communicate, you get a better understanding of what each party feels, what they want to do, which direction they want to move.
Right.
And so with your last guest, y'all talked about how you got to find out about what is your intentions with me. And so if y'all never asked that, then I would never know. But when you communicate that to this other individual, then you get a better understanding where y'all might be moving towards, or whether you want to just end this with no loss to you. So
yeah. So you communicate throughout. You communicate when you initially meet. You communicate. You say here, and I love this quote right here. It says, "Never allow your emotional side to make a choice or decision that should be made by your intellectual side." Yeah. And that's really powerful because when we make decisions off of our emotions, usually we don't pick the right person. We don't listen to what God has to say. We go off of how we feel, like I said before, and that ends up being a bad decision. So you said that you talked to some friends, and you have women friends that were going through a lot of stuff in their relationships. And, you have, what is the purpose of this relationship? Do you ask yourself that, like, in the beginning of the relationship? Like, what is the purpose of it?
Well, it's always a purpose for dating, regardless whether it's for possible marriage or if it's for financial. You might meet someone, like when I asked that question, it was I might meet someone who's in a business
Okay.
and that relationship may be a purpose for just business. Then you
Right.
might meet someone who is attractive, and that you're trying to see if you can maybe get a courtship out of it that may lead to a relationship that may lead to marriage. So
Right.
with every relationship that you encounter, you always say, what is the purpose of this particular relationship?
And you should have that conversation with the other person as well. Like ask yourself and get clear, and then ask them and get clear.
Yeah. So this is, so with me, when it comes to different aspects of the dating, I'm somewhat what they call, I'm abstract. I'm outside the
Okay.
box with it.
Okay.
Because when I meet a woman, most women will say, Tony, what you looking for? And I'll say, I'm looking for you to be you. And the reason I say that is because if I tell you what I'm looking for, then you're going to bring what you call your representative to show up, give me what I'm looking for till you get me. And then 6 months, year down the line, then this Mrs. Heckle person comes up. If y'all ever heard of the Dr. Jekyll, Mrs. Hyde syndrome, that's with men too. But listen what I'm saying though. Listen what I'm saying.
I'm listening.
Listen what that. If a woman tells a man what she's looking for, he's gonna bring the rep. Okay, man, I gotta do this, man. She wants this.
Okay, but hold up. Okay, so at a certain point, and this is what I believe and this is what I hope, that at a certain point in your grown life, right? At some point, you're going to be like, oh, you need to find somebody else because I'm not that. That's me. Oh, like if you say I'm looking for this, this, and this, sometimes I can just look at your list and be like, I'm not doing that. And I'm going to keep it moving. You know what I mean? Like, I think at some point, 30s, 40s, I don't know what it is for everybody else, but you need to get authentic and real about who you are. And representatives should be like in the trash. Forget that, because you're wasting time, and time is too precious. So if I actually had that happen to me. A gentleman said, oh, I need my woman to do this, 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 and this. Now, I'm a businesswoman and I am busy. I'm not going to do, first of all, we have to negotiate when I'm going to cook. We have to, because I don't have time to do all that. You have to work with me. So his little list was too long. I wasn't willing to do it. And I told him. And we kept it moving. So I implore people. I mean, really, in this life, this dating life and all this stuff people are doing, we just can't do that anymore. That's such a waste of time. I am not going to pretend to be something that your list says, and then after that, I get you, be like, I ain't doing any of that. I tell you from the door, this is what I'm willing to do, and this is what I'm not willing to do. So, I get what you're saying. And hopefully people get over that in their 20s. You know what I mean?
Well, you set apart. You set apart from a lot of women, though. But even in my book, I know we haven't gotten to that, but it's a chapter in my book called "Do You Really Know?"
Right.
And I discussed about people who get into people's lives. All these years, this person has been showing you that they love you, this and that, and then later on, you say, "I didn't know they was doing that. I didn't know that."
Yeah.
So people can put up a smoke screen or some type of image or facade for a period of time. But like in my book, I said, just like a submarine has to go under, and eventually it has to rise. So your true self always going to come to surface anyway.
Yeah. And so that's why I'm saying, don't even fake it. Like, be
I'm
who
me.
you are. Yes.
I'm me. When I meet women, I say,
Me
let
too.
Tony be me. You know what I'm saying? And you'll find out if you like Tony or not.
Yeah, and I don't have to give you a list because that's not necessary of what it is, but I do show up as an authentic person, and this is who I am, and these are what my expectations are. And my expectations are more in the realm of honesty and goals and your purpose and what it is that we can do together to make the planet a better place. So for me, that's what I look for. So there's a part here also in the book where you talk about, and this is so important for women. As a woman, you must recognize when the man in your life appreciates you. When you recognize when a man appreciates you, that shows that you value yourself and you value him, right?
Yeah.
And there's so many women that don't do that, They feel like they're entitled to get these things, to get the attention, to get time. They're not thankful for a man who does those things. He doesn't have to buy you. He doesn't have to do all those things. But if a man does, we got to show appreciation and love. You agree? That's so important.
Yes, because when you show a man that you appreciate him, then it's like what they say, keep your man at home, far as letting him know that you value his efforts, his ability to bring to the table, his support, you know, his ability to be there, as far as if you got kids, and he just basically showing you, look, this is what a man does for the woman that he wants in his life. And so you just basically just show him that, hey, I recognize that. So.
And then that way you're able to foster some genuine connections, you know?
Yeah, it's always
really,
about the connection, though. You got to be connected.
You do. And so feelings and emotions, and we, you know, which is what your book is based on, you talk about making a choice and a decision, but don't do it when you're angry. Don't do it when you're upset. That when you're mad, I guess you step away.
Yeah, I actually put something on I have a Facebook page called the I Over E Perspective.
Okay.
And so this morning I just happened to was going through Facebook, and I saw a woman who found out that her boyfriend was cheating. So she's in the house. Why you do this to me? He like, get out my house. Just get away from me. She's like, no, I'm not going away. So I posted it. But what I put on the top of the post was, just leave and move on with your life, and posted the video. You already see what your value is to that person, because they went out and stepped out based on y'all saying y'all had a relationship. So when you're dealing your feelings and your emotions, you're not going to think correctly. And that's what was going on with this young lady.
Yeah. So a lot of times, and we'll talk about this when we get right back, but a lot of times because of women's emotions, they're wanting to find out why and all these things. But anyway, we'll talk more about that when we get back.
Welcome. I'm Zinthally.
And I'm Sue.
And we're the gorgeous, brilliant females.
Boomer Lifestyle Show is sponsored by Real Time Pain Relief. Now, Real Time Pain Relief is something that I actually use, and that's why I'm excited that they're sponsoring the show today. Real Time Pain Relief is just what it says, real time. Now, I was in a car accident about 4 years ago, and I injured my neck. And unbeknownst to me, I found out this year that I have nerve damage between my C5 and C6. And how that affects me is sometimes the pain goes down my arm and wakes me up in the middle of the night. But when I discovered real-time pain relief, what I do is just rub a little bit in, just a little bit, that's all it takes, into my shoulder, into my neck, and immediately the pain is gone. And I have shared this product with several friends who've also had accidents or different types of pain that they have, and it really works. So get your real-time pain relief by going to Pain Gone Gone. It's not just gone, it's gone gone. PainGoneGone.com. Welcome back to the show. I'm India Thibodeau, and I'm here with Tony Wolf, and we're discussing emotions and feelings. And so when we took the break, we were talking about how, what were we talking about?
We was talking about not being argumentative when you find out the mate is cheating.
Right. So in a lot of cases, I was saying that women are so emotional. We want to know who it was, when did you do it, why did you do it. We want to feel all these different things from you to get all these answers. But a lot of times I was thinking to myself, it doesn't really matter, because cheating is a character issue. I say this all the time. It is not anything to do with you. It doesn't have anything to do with how you look, what size you are, any of that. It is the person that did the cheating that has a character issue. So with that being said, all of that emotion that you're extending to finding out why this, that, and the other is really pointless, because at the end of the day, you need to get to where this person has to deal with their own character and why they did that. And truly, if you are a Christian person doing that mess, you need to talk to God, because the character of God is not in cheating.
Yes.
That's not it. So you have to really figure out what that issue is within. And sometimes for some men, I know it's a generational curse. Like their father cheated, they saw their father with a family or doing whatever, and then their grandfather, and sometimes that's in people's families. So, but you have to figure that out for yourself as a man or woman who has stepped out, why you did, and not putting the blame on anything the other person did. Correct?
Yes. Just to say something on that made me think about one of my panel. One of the guys that's on my panel, Curtis, he basically discussed that during our panel, that he saw his father do the same thing you just said, cheat on his mom's. And it made him evaluate the hurt that he saw his mom go through, what his father put her through. So now he changed the way he treats his women. Like he said, I don't ever want to see a woman hurt the way I saw my mother hurt.
Right. And so he made a decision not to be that person in somebody else's life. So you were telling me earlier about that you were married before, and that you and your wife never fought. And I jokingly said that, and you got a divorce, and I jokingly said that's because you never fought, and you laughed. I mean, I believe that's possible. I believe that you can have conversations, but if you don't have communication, it doesn't even really matter about not fighting, because you didn't even talk.
Yeah. Well, when I say fighting, meaning we had our disagreements, we had our misunderstandings, but when I mean like arguments where people were like, you did this, me and my ex-wife never had that. The thing that was the issue with me was communication. What I found out about her was that she had what I named it called the boy woman, meaning she had that side where, men mostly, they don't want to be argumentative. They don't want to do confrontations. We'd rather walk away. That's why that's why I tell a woman, if a man walks away, let him walk away and then deal with him later on when everything has calmed down. And so when I talk to some women, I say, be your significant other's boyfriend. And they like, what you mean? I said, when you call your boys your man, what do you say? Man, I'm with my boys in them. I said, because you're basically doing something that's wanting him to get away from you. But if you become that boy, male, female to him, then guess what he's going to tell his boys when they call? Man, I'm with my baby. Because she understands you. She's with you when you want to watch the game. She's there in that capacity. And so you just got to basically, like I said, get to know your partner and understand them. So.
Okay. So also in the book you say, never be into a man so deeply that you'll give him yourself totally and completely.
You want to know about that one?
Yeah.
I hear
That's
y'all.
huge.
I know
Women do
everybody
that all
out
the time.
there. A lot of
Yeah.
people out there that have had relationships, and I heard this before, where the woman loses the man or the man loses the woman in a relationship that they have given themselves totally, and then they'll be like, I can't live without them. When I heard that, when I hear women say that, I said, what you mean you can't live without them? You're still living. Why are you saying that? So what you mean you can't live without them?
Right.
And so I always tell women or men, when someone comes into your life, already have your life, in order. Already be loving yourself. Already doing those things that you enjoy. And so when that person comes in, they're only in addition to your happiness and to the love you're already giving yourself. So when they leave, it's just a part that you're missing, but you still got your own self-love there. So.
Yeah, and that's so important, and it's really good to hear a man say that, because I always say that as well. You need to have your own activities, your own goals that you do. And then when you come together, this is what I believe. I think that a man and a woman, because, you know, a lot of times we're different and sometimes you like to do different things. There's some things that you like to do together. But I think there should be a common goal, like even if it's a organization that you both set up together that you have to work on together. I really feel like that makes a difference in a relationship, because a lot of times if you have a job over here and I have a job over there and we're doing our things and then maybe we get together, sometimes we don't get together on purpose. You know what I mean?
I got you. I got
Yeah, so I think that really helps out with relationships. But you also talk about in the book how, and I guess this is for people who've divorced and women who then are sole custody of their children, and they are so emotional, right? Not using their intellect. They keep their children away from the fathers. And this is such a topic for me, because I also was married before and I had my children, but I made every effort, despite of not getting child support or any of that, to make sure that my children had a relationship with their dad. I felt that was very important. And you do say that also in the book. Women, stop doing that. You know, stop keeping your children, especially your male, and, you know, they need their dads. Like, I'm the type of mom, when the child gets a certain age, here, come get him. I'm with my male son, come get him. Because at some point, I feel like I don't have the ability to raise a boy child as a man.
Yes.
Now, I don't know, I don't think other women may feel that way, but I've always felt that way. It's like at 12 or 13, you need to be with your father. So come get him, and, you know, this is your part, you know, because, and even young ladies, daughters need their fathers as well to see how to recognize a good man. When your father's not in your life, you tend to make bad decisions when you're out here dating and relationships and things like that, because you didn't have a relationship with your father. So it's very important, very, very, very important for us to, as women, to put those feelings aside, get your emotions out of the way, okay? This is not about you. But and
the best interest of the child is what should be the forefront.
That's it.
And what you was just saying about the father, I always tell women that your father should be the first man you fall in love with. And if he's a good father, he's going to show you what to expect and what to look for in the man that you want to come in your life. And so that's why I'm very instrumental in my granddaughter's life. You know, every time my daughter called me, she called me like last week. She said, "Your granddaughter is talking about, I want my papa." I said, "Tell her I will be there to get her." So
That's it. So also in relationships, as we move through relationships, how do we get past the hurt, you know? I think if you talk about in the book somewhere about how love doesn't hurt.
Love doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't.
Love feel good.
Yeah, when it's real love, right?
Well,
It is true love. When it's honest love, not just love.
it's I always say it's the actions. It's the actions on everything. I always say love is an action. And I was saying that yesterday on my page about some woman had posed a question, and I was like that. They said, would you keep your man if he cheated on you? I said, well, if he cheated on you, then his actions of cheating showed that he really didn't love you, because love is not going to want to cause any hurt for the person that you really love. So.
And that's true love.
I'm still trying to figure out what true love is.
I'm still looking.
Exactly.
But I think, you know, there's different forms of love, of course. But I feel like true love is that love that puts God first, right? And then, you know, you put that relationship there in the mix with God as it being very important. So it's like we're together, but this relationship is sanctified by God and blessed, and we honor that, you know? So when you have an honorable relationship with each other, and that relationship being focused, you know, we're going to focus on this, it's intent, and to make each other happy, to, you know, achieve those goals together. You have to work on that. That's like a job. That's like your other job if you're in a relationship with a purpose, right? That's your other job.
With me, like I said, everybody, even when I do my panel discussions, I always tell people that everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has been through their own experiences. Everybody had their own circumstances. With me, I believe relationships are basically easy. We make relationships hard. We see something, we want to make an issue out of it. Like when I was married, my ex-wife, she had 2 sons by a previous relationship. They would not keep the house so tidy. So I would come home and see something need to be done. I do it. So we made that talk where we had to discuss, like, look, this is what needs to be done, this, and that. Instead of going, why the kids ain't cooking, why you ain't doing it? So when you see things need to be done in your relationship, just do it. Move on. Let's be happy.
We'll be right back.
What's up, this Pastor Q, aka The Voice. Check me out every Sunday on Clear Productions TV Radio Network. My show, man, Great Ministry. Come check me out.
Welcome back to the Boomer Lifestyle Show, and I'm your host, India Thibodeau, and I'm here with Tony Wolf. And I just wanted to talk on this last half about domestic violence. When we're out here dating, is that a question? How do we pose that question to somebody that we are potentially interested in?
Well, the question, most guys or women, they're not going to tell you that they've been involved in a domestic violence situation.
No.
So you just got to know what the red flags are when you're dating, and then know how to remove yourself from a potential violent relationship. But there's other forms of domestic violence too. It's not always physical. It can be mental too.
Mental too.
Yeah.
So what are the red flags?
Well, I know based on me doing domestic violence, speaking, I speak to women, even young ladies. I just found out that young girls like 13, 14, 15 are in domestic violent relationships with their guys that they're dating. So you have flags when you want to be controlling, want to know your whereabouts, your codes to your phone, try to control who you hang with, who you're friends with. So you just got to look at certain aspects of the actions of the man that you're dating.
Okay, so and women, the same thing. Are they the same for young people as they are for older people, or Usually,
Nah,
older ones are more.
it's no. It's just
Yeah.
it's just their the way they are. They actually, you just gotta recognize the signs.
Yeah.
You know, about whether they're gonna be a potential threat to
Yeah.
your life.
To
So,
you, yeah. And then, what are your recommendations? What do you tell young people or women to do to get out of those situations if they've made a decision to be in there?
On the serious side, remove
Mm-hmm.
yourself. But me being, kind of a jokester, Speedy Gonzalez, pew, gone, roll. So
Okay, so just totally,
remove
yeah,
yourself. Remove
yeah.
yourself.
So the emotion part, of course, we know is going to take over because people are emotionally attached. And and not the intellectual part, which says, because you're already intellectually seeing things and thinking, okay, this isn't a good situation. And a lot of times people stay because they are emotionally connected or financially connected, and then they have children or other things that are involved in the situation. So even though my mind is saying I want to be Speedy Gonzalez, where am I gonna go? I don't, our money together is why I'm able to live here. Our money to, you know what I'm saying?
No.
No.
Go.
Go.
The whole
Just
this
go. Because your life could be.
But it's in danger.
Yeah,
So you mean you
yeah.
would rather have someone potentially take you away from here, rather than to move on? I always
Right.
tell women who have been in those situations, because when I first started doing speaking on domestic violence, I used to always ask the one question: why did you stay? That was the first question I asked. And then I realized that what you say, the emotions, they were so caught up into the individuals that they didn't know if they had another way to survive and things of that nature. I said, but you're not with this guy now, but it took you so many years. But imagine had you removed yourself so many years earlier, you would have been so more far ahead with getting your life back in order. So
Yeah.
just remove yourself.
Just move yourself, yeah. And so you also you do public speaking. Tell us a bit about what you have coming up, where you're going to be, where you speaking, what are you doing?
Right now we in talks with Bowie State. They've sponsored us last year for an event we did called Pull Up Your Pants.
Okay.
And what are you thankful for? Also, we're doing an event April the 6th called Fresh Start, Fresh Thinking, which is associated with the Fresh program, where we mentor to the young men and young women in the county and abroad on how to make better choices in your life that won't lead you to prison or some form of hurt, to someone in the community or yourselves.
So Fresh, that's your organization?
Yes.
What does that stand for?
It stands for Fully Restoring Every Son's Hope. And
I love that.
Yes, and our concept is from Romans 12:2. Be not conformed to this world, but be renewed by the transforming of your mind.
All right. Okay. So where can they get your book? Where
Well,
can we get this book?
So I paid for everything to get this book done. So
You
I'm not
did?
giving nobody my money. So you can go
Okay.
into
They
my
gotta call
you
you.
gotta you can go into my page on Facebook. It's the I over E perspective, and you can just go on our page. You can link out to me to order your book. It's only $10. Also on the page, you can definitely present questions about relationship topics, and then I or one of my other panelists, they will respond back to you and give you an understanding or better way to deal with the situation that you may be going through in your relationship.
Okay, and I read the book. It is a really good book. It has a lot of informative things, and it really will make you think about being more intellectual and less emotional.
Yes.
Yeah, right, absolutely. Where else are you going to be?
I'm wherever you want me to be. For
Okay,
women,
so you are available to
speak. Yeah.
Okay, at different organizations.
So this is something that happened when I did one of our panels. Some young ladies that came actually host parties. And so one of the ladies said, look, can you and your panel come and do maybe like a 45-minute segment for our party called Stimulate Your Mind? So we did that. Then another lady came to us and said, can you do one called The Battle of the Sexes, Guys versus the Gals? So we would come and just do our panel discussions, and after that, it would be the games and whatever else activities they have for the couples.
Okay.
And so that's where you can invite us and our panel to your events, and we would come out, talk about relationships, and then even be a part of whatever your activities are.
Okay, so it would be an ask, and your panel, the women could ask questions, or men can ask
ask questions,
questions.
yeah.
You answer the questions, and it's all based off of your book, or it's just general relationship.
Well, it'll be based off general questions, but most of the times, the answers is usually in the book, and I'll say, go to the page, or this is what I say in the book, and then my other panelists, they'll have their opinions, and I always tell all my audiences that my book is only my opinion. So nothing is etched in stone. So don't ever say, Tony Wolf said this. No. Tony Wolf is giving you what he experienced through his friends that he had in his life. And so now I'm trying to give it to the women that's out here to help them with things that they're probably experienced that my friends went through.
Okay, and that makes sense. So in learning to use your I over your E, what is the biggest recommendation that you have for women out of your book?
The biggest recommendation that I would have is basically rely on the Creator, because the Creator is always going to lead you right. Even your girlfriends, your male friends, they're going to tell you what they feel based on their attachment to you and their emotions to your relationship.
Yeah.
But if you rely on God and just say, look, and He will reveal it to you. Y'all know you know, and y'all know God. Just say, Father, talk to me. Tell me where I'm at with this. And something will happen during the course of that situation where it be like, that's my son. So just rely on the Father, no man.
All right. Tell you what, thank you.
No problem. Thank
All
you
right,
for having me.
the book is Learning to Use Your I over E regarding relationships, and you can contact him. Tell us again how they can get
On
hold of you.
Facebook, it's called The I Over E Perspective.